Hold your breath, bear down. In 17 seconds, you're going to find out the huge move by Ryan Poles that's leaving even the veterans shocked. First shocker. Why the heck was the most hyped WR from training camp just booted from the roster? It's not just a cut, it's payback against the media. Second hurricane. The coordinator just dropped the hard truth about our QB's development. And there's an insider saying they knew at Hallas Hall he was setting this up since the draft. And the third to tsunami, there's a dangerous RB from another team floating on the waiver wire right now. And if we don't move in the next 3 hours, the Lions or Packers will snag the reinforcement we need in our backfield. Wanna be in the 1% who know before it blows up in the reports? Forget the journalists. Smash like now and find out how these 3 bombs are tied in a secret plan that only true fans will understand. Chicago Bears officially released J.P. Richardson. And I know many of you are thinking, but dude, he was the guy at training camp. Precisely. And that's why this decision reveals so much about Ryan Poles' mindset this season. Let's get to the facts that the media isn't telling you. Richardson came from TCU as an undrafted wide receiver with impressive numbers. 57 receptions, 733 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 2024. But it's not just the numbers, it's how he got those numbers. Richardson was known for his ability to make catches in tough situations, especially in the middle of the field where the defense is tight. Started training camp, Richardson was doing everything right. I talked with people close to the team, and they told me he was impressing not just with his spectacular catches, but his work ethic. Arrived early, left late, studied the playbook like a veteran. By the end of July, when they asked the veterans about impressive rookies, Richardson's name was always in the conversation. But here comes the crucial point explaining everything. When preseason hit, the reality of numbers set in. Richardson managed some nice catches, but wasn't standing out against defenses that really matter. And with the depth we have at the position, Poles realized he couldn't afford to keep a player for potential when there are solid certainties. Let's analyze our wide receiver room. DJ Moore is our undisputed WR1. 1,364 yards and 8 touchdowns last season prove it. Rome Odunze, our first-round pick, is showing precisely why he was picked so high. Tyler Scott is developing as expected. Keenan Allen, when healthy, adds experience and consistency that can't be ignored. Richardson became a victim of the organization's own success. Poles built so much depth at the position that even players with real potential can't crack the starting formation. And that, folks, is the kind of good problem that winning teams have. But the story doesn't end here. Richardson will likely head to the practice squad, and here's why. Other 31 teams in the league are looking at their rosters making similar cuts. The chance of someone making a waiver claim on an undrafted wide receiver, even with potential, is low. Teams are focused on positions of greater need. This means the Bears can keep Richardson on the practice squad, develop him during the season, and have a ready option if someone gets injured. It's pure Poles strategy, maintaining talent in the organization without compromising space on the main roster. The message this release sends to the rest of the team is clear. It doesn't matter if you're a fan favorite. It doesn't matter if you had an outstanding camp. When the moment of truth comes, only performance counts. Poles is building a culture of total meritocracy. Ben Johnson just made statements about Caleb Williams that completely changed my perspective on our offense in 2025. And folks, after analyzing every word Johnson said, I understood there's a much deeper strategy going on here than anyone imagined. When asked if Williams has reached his ceiling this season, the answer was categorical. Absolutely not. But the way he explained it reveals a level of confidence and planning that left me impressed. Johnson said verbatim, he has a rare ability to throw the ball, and I have a strong influence on his decision-making. Guys, did you catch the subtlety in this phrase? Johnson isn't just praising Williams' arm. He's taking personal responsibility for the mental development of our quarterback. But here's the part that the media isn't adequately exploring. Johnson admitted he purposely put Williams through a lot in training camp. This wasn't an accident. It was intentional design of the development program. Why this approach? Because Johnson understands something fundamental. Rookie quarterbacks who aren't tested in camp enter the, regular season unprepared for real pressure. Johnson chose to break Williams in the controlled environment of training camp to rebuild him stronger for the season, and the results are already appearing in ways only those paying attention to details can see. Against the Chiefs in preseason, Williams completed 11 of 15 passes for 113 yards and a touchdown. But it's not just the numbers, it's how he got those numbers. I reviewed each of those 11 completed passes, and I can say 3 were in third down situations where Williams had to make swift reads under pressure. 2 were perfectly timed. Passes to Rome Odunze on intermediate routes. And the touchdown? It was a demonstration of anticipation where Williams released the ball before the receiver even completed the cut. Johnson also talked about consistency. The challenge we have as coaches and Caleb as a player is to achieve this more consistently. Because if he does, we will have a chance to be very good on offense. This phrase reveals that Johnson has already seen flashes of what Williams can become, and now it's a matter of repetition. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Tyson, Bagant, and the rumors of real competition for the position. The Bears gave a 2-year, $10 million extension to Bagant, the first extension for a Bears quarterback since Jay Cutler in 2014. This raised speculations about whether Bagant could really threaten Williams' position. Colin. Cowherd and other analysts suggested Bagant fits better into Johnson's system due to his prior experience and more direct playing style. There's a logic to it. Bagant already knows the league, has played under pressure, and his 2023 season showed he can manage games when necessary. But I believe this competition is actually a brilliant strategy by Johnson. Having 2 quarterbacks capable of executing the system means Williams can never relax. Every practice is a competition. Every snap is an opportunity to prove his worth. Johnson indirectly addressed this when he mentioned the training team. He's learning with the coaching eye JT Barrett, Declan Doyle, and all these guys in the quarterback room provide. This is a completely renovated quarterback room, with Johnson bringing his own development philosophy. The reality is Williams has 4 crucial games before the Week 5 bye to prove he can operate efficiently against first-team defenses. Johnson knows it, Williams knows it, and now the whole Bear Nation knows it too. What impresses me most about Johnson's approach is his honesty about the process. He's not selling false hopes or unrealistic expectations. He's being transparent about where Williams is and where he needs to go. This transparency creates accountability for both the player and the coaching staff. Folks, something just happened that could completely change our backfield situation, and I need to explain why Ryan Poles needs to make this waiver claim immediately. Audric Esteem, a second-year running back from the Denver Broncos, was just released. And before you think just another released player, let me explain why this is the opportunity we've been waiting for since the start of the offseason. First, let's understand our current backfield situation because it's critical. We have only 2 fully healthy running backs, DeAndre Swift and Britton Brown. Roschon Johnson, whom many expected to be the perfect complement to Swift, has been out since August 7th with a foot injury that has already made him miss all 3 preseason games. Kyle Monangai, our 7th-round pick impressing in camp, is also dealing with an injury, although it seems less serious than Johnson's, but I've not so. Starting an NFL season with essentially just 1.5 running backs is a recipe for disaster. Offensive coordinator Declan Doyle publicly admitted the team is exploring putting players from other positions in the backfield to compensate for the lack of depth. Folks, when a coordinator talks about improvising at the running back position, you know the situation is serious. Now let's talk about Audric Esteem and why he is exactly what we need. Estem was a 5th-round pick in the 2024 draft, coming from Notre Dame with the profile of a power back that can perfectly complement Swift's style. In his rookie season in Denver, Esteem had 310 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns in limited opportunities. But it's not just the numbers, it's the style of play that impresses me. Estem is the kind of back you put in when you need tough yards on 3rd and short, when you need someone to protect the quarterback, when you need consistency on the line of scrimmage. In the 2025 preseason, even with limited time, Estem showed exactly what he is. 16 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown, plus 2 receptions for 28 yards. The average of 4.1 yards per carry may seem modest, but consider he was running against defenses that knew he was getting the ball. That's the kind of production that wins games. But you might be asking, if Esteem's so good, why did Denver get rid of him? I talked to Adam Zintek, a Broncos expert for A to Z Sports, and the answer is simple: excessive depth. Denver has RJ Harvey, whom they love as a compliment. They have J.K. Dobbins, who is one of the best backs in the league when healthy. They have Tyler Beatty, who offers versatility as a receiver, and they have Jaleel McLaughlin, who is a home run hitter. Sean Payton had to make a painful decision, and Esteem was the odd man out. The surprising inactivity of Estime against Buffalo in the 2025 playoffs was the writing on the wall. When a team doesn't activate a running back in the playoffs, especially one who had decent production during the season, you know he's not in the organization's future plans. But here's our advantage. We are 10th in the waiver claim order. That means only 9 teams can snatch Esteem before us. And considering the specific needs of these teams, I believe we have a real chance to get him. Let's analyze the teams ahead of us. Patriots first, Cardinals second, Commanders third, Giants fourth, Jets fifth, Titans sixth, Browns seventh, Panthers eighth, and Saints ninth. How many of these teams have a desperate need for a power back? How many have roster space to develop a young player? The answer leaves me optimistic about our chances. Imagine for a moment our backfield with Swift as the speed back, Monagai upon return offering versatility, and Estime as our power option. 3 completely different styles that perfectly complement each other in Ben Johnson's system. Swift can be our every down back when we need explosion and speed. Esteem can come in on goal line situations, third and short, and when we need yards after contact. Monagai can be our passing back, offering mismatch problems for linebackers that can't cover running backs in space. The versatility this would give Johnson to design plays is infinite. He could use formations with 2 backs, create confusion for defenses on who's getting the ball, and keep Caleb Williams protected with backs who know how to block. But there's another aspect not being discussed, the financial aspect. Esteem is still on a rookie contract, meaning it would be a low-cost addition that wouldn't impact our salary cap. In a league where veteran running backs are demanding huge contracts, getting quality production for rookie money is an incredible value proposition. Ryan Poles has historically been aggressive on the waiver wire when he sees opportunities to improve the roster. Josh Blackwell was a gem he found this way. Chris Williams and Darrell Taylor were last-minute trades that showed his willingness to act when he sees value. The window of opportunity is small. Waiver claims need to be submitted quickly, and other general managers are analyzing the same options. If Poles hesitates, this opportunity will go to another team that was more decisive. Folks, when you piece these 3 news items together, a clear pattern emerges about the philosophy guiding this organization in 2025. And I need to explain how these decisions connect to form a bigger picture strategy. The release of J.P. Richardson wasn't an isolated decision about an individual player. It was a statement about standards. Poles is setting that in this organization, potential without immediate production isn't enough. This sends a message to the entire roster. No matter how much fans like you, no matter how many highlight reels you made in camp, when the moment of truth arrives, only results matter. This mentality directly connects with Johnson's approach with Caleb Williams. Johnson isn't shielding Williams from pressure or expectations. He's exposing him to them purposely. Because he understands quarterbacks protected in development enter the regular season unprepared for reality, and the opportunity with Esteem represents the proactivity characterizing great organizations. Instead of waiting for injuries to happen and then scrambling for solutions, Poles is identifying potential problems before they become crises and acting preventively. But there's a common thread in all these decisions. They prioritize substance over style. Richardson had style. He was flashy, exciting, a fan favorite. But when push came to shove, he didn't have the necessary substance to guarantee a roster spot. Williams has both style and substance, but Johnson is focusing exclusively on substance. He doesn't care if Williams looks pretty in the pocket. If he's not making correct decisions consistently, Esteem is pure substance. He's not flashy, won't appear on SportsCenter, but he delivers what you expect when you need it most. Exactly the type of player that wins championships. These three developments significantly changed my expectations for this season. And I need to be honest with you about what this means for our realistic chances. The release of Richardson suggests Poles is confident enough in our receiving core to release depth. This tells me he believes our starters can stay healthy and productive. If he had doubts, he would have kept Richardson as insurance. Johnson's approach with Williams tells me he's not planning for Williams to have growing pains during the season. He's trying to compress the entire learning curve into training camp and preseason so Williams hits the ground running in week 1. And our potential addition of Esteem would be the insurance policy great teams always have. Championship teams don't hope injuries won't happen. They prepare for when injuries do happen. Putting it all together, I see an organization that is preparing not only to compete in 2025, but to sustain success over multiple years. These are the decisions of a franchise that thinks long-term while executing short-term. Bears fans, what you've just seen in these 3 news stories is a snapshot of an organization in transformation. Ryan Poles is no longer building, he's now optimizing. Ben Johnson is no longer installing, he's now perfecting. And our roster is no longer hoping, it's expecting. Do you think Poles should make that waiver claim for Esteem? I already know my answer, but I want to hear from you. Comment below. Yes, if you think we need to go all in on Esteem. No, if you think we should trust our current situation. And also tell me, do you trust Johnson's approach with Williams? Or do you worry that too much pressure early could backfire? This community is built on honest discussion, so give me your real thoughts. For those who made it this far, you've proven that you're true Bears fans who care about details and understanding what moves our franchise. Hit that subscribe button because tomorrow I will have complete analysis on how these decisions impact our depth chart for week 1. And don't forget, championship teams are built through the accumulation of small advantages. Richardson's release gives us roster flexibility. Johnson's development of Williams gives us quarterback stability. Esteem's potential acquisition gives us backfield insurance. These 3 moves individually may seem small, but collectively, they represent exactly the type of strategic thinking that separates contenders from pretenders. Bears fans, you all are the heart of this city, and together we will watch every step of this journey toward the playoffs and beyond. Like this video if you want more analysis this deep, share it with your fellow Bears fans who need to understand what's really happening, and activate notifications, because I guarantee tomorrow we will have more news breaking in Chicago Bear. Down, stay informed, and remember, great teams are built through great decisions, and today we saw 3 decisions that could define our entire season. Until next time, and keep bleeding navy and orange.